Doing a mail merge directly in DocuSign instead of Word is going to be a huge time saver if you want to generate documents in bulk using the data you have in an Excel spreadsheet or any other kind of database. So let's say that you want to send a document to 250 people and that you want to pre-fill those people's names and addresses in those documents. If you use Word to do the merge, you'll need to upload each Word document to DocuSign one by one, configure your recipients and fields one by one, because there is no way to bulk send your document via DocuSign directly from Word. But this video will show you how you can do a merge directly inside of DocuSign without even using Word. And if we haven't met before, my name is Sofian and I'm the founder of Solusign Consulting, where we help businesses save hundreds of hours using automation. If you want the help of our team to help you set up automation, you can find the link in the description of this video to book a complimentary strategy session with me. But going back to the mail merge, the reality is that you cannot do a real mail merge in DocuSign alone. Why am I saying this? Well, a real mail merge, what I call a real mail merge, is where the space needed for the variable text, so the text that you want to add to your document template, will actually automatically expand or shrink based on how long or how short that variable text is. So that means that the document will always look perfect. It will look like someone's actually typed it in Word manually, but DocuSign doesn't have that capability as of today. DocuSign can insert the variable text in the field, but not in the document itself. Now, you can leave enough room in your document template to allow space for the DocuSign field, but that means that you will always have a little bit too much or not enough extra space. Now, if you find what I just said confusing, I really recommend that you download my free DocuSign cheat sheet because it will help you navigate templates, recipients, and fields. You can find the link in the description of this video below. If you want the documents to look like letters and not like forms, there is another way that you can do your merge using a mail merge software that integrates with DocuSign itself, such as DocuPilot. I've covered this in the second part of this video and I've also linked it in the description of this one. With DocuPilot, you can generate polished looking document in bulk that will be sent directly through to DocuSign. But if you're okay with your documents looking a little bit more that like forms rather than letters, then this video will show you how you can generate your documents in bulk using DocuSign only. So the very first step is to take a look at your documents and make the list of fields you will need to build inside of your DocuSign template. So let's take a look at this document here. For example, let's just call it an employment contract. Here we have a field for our date. Here we have first name, and here we have a last name. Here you have address line 1, and then you have address line 2. So what you want to do is you actually want to build something that looks a bit like that, where you remove the actual variables and you replace them by something that's meaningful. So for example, here we have a field for date, salutation, first name, last name, address line 1, city, state, and zip. What this allows you to do is to then look at how your data is structured in your database or Excel or CRM or whatever, and then you want to compare the amount of fields and you want to map them. It's going to help you see that you might have some missing field in your document, or you might need to split some of the fields inside of your database. This is completely up to you. It's most of the time much faster to edit the document structure than editing your database. So once you've compared your list and you've identified the discrepancies and you fix the discrepancies, you have the same number of fields in your database and the same number of fields inside of your document, then it's time to build your DocuSign template. So once you're inside of DocuSign, what you want to do is you want to make sure that all your fields have the right label. For example, here, I've already identified in the previous step that I'm going to add a field for the date. And so it's not going to be the date signed, it's going to be the date when the letter of offer was produced. So instead of using a date signed, that's why I'm using a text field here. So here, if I want a specific date that's going to be in my database to be added here, I want to give a meaningful name to that field so that I know how to map it. And so what I want to do is I want to give that a label that I think is the most appropriate. So I'm going to call this one date. This one is going to be called salutation. This one is full name. This one is address line 1, city, state, and zip. You get the idea. You do this for the rest of your document. So now we need to cover how you will get the data that you want to merge on your document inside of the DocuSign template. There are two main ways you can get the data inside of DocuSign. You can either use a CSV file that you upload inside of DocuSign or use Zapier, so an integration. And I'll show you both in this video. But first, let me explain to you how to choose between both options. If you're in a rush, the CSV is going to be the fastest option to get the merge done because you don't need to do much setup, but the process is going to be prone to errors because you're going to be playing with spreadsheets and version control issues will arise. So you won't be able to automate much of your workflow. Also, you'll still need to save your documents manually, keep a track of who signed, who hasn't signed manually. So it's not the best option for long term. And if you often have to do merges, I would invest a few hours to build something scalable that will help you with all your upcoming merges. So in case you haven't used Zapier before, Zapier is a third-party tool that helps you generate your merges directly from wherever your data is stored. So at a click of a button in your Excel sheet, you could generate your merge, but you'll also be able to automate tracking signature status, progress, and also automate how your documents get saved once they've been signed. So you could potentially tell Zapier to place your documents in the right folder or in your right CRM record if this is where you would want your documents to end up once they've been signed. So of course, choose whatever you're comfortable doing, and you'll definitely need to spend a few hours to get this done, or you can ask for our help and we can build these automations for you using the link in the description of this video. For now, let's see how you can set this up. So regardless of how you'll want to import your data, whether it's a CSV or in an automated fashion using Zapier, the first steps are always the same. It's all about preparing your data structure with your document structure. If you're using a CSV to do your merge, you'll want to download the CSV template. And so the way you do this is you click on use and then you go to edit and then import bulk list and download CSV template. It will give you the formatting of the CSV and you just need to fill this out. You can see here that each column relates to one of the fields inside of my documents. And so I have the name, email, the date, address line 1, city, stat, blah, 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 blah. So what you want to do here is you want to fill this out with everyone's information by transposing whatever information you have from your database inside of that CSV. And this is why I don't like CSV, because this is when error happen. Then when you're done, you save that CSV and you import it here. So you click on import, you look for the CSV that's going to give you a preview of data. You can make some changes if you wanted to. It's empty now because I haven't added anything. And when you're done, you click on finish import and you can press send. You don't get a chance to review the merges before you hit send. So that's what people don't like. It's a bit stressful, but that's how it works. So that's why you definitely want to do a few tests before you go live. You want to send those merges to maybe your personal email address, a colleague, just to make sure that the data merges correctly. But now, if you want to use a system that's going to allow you to scale, then it's better to use something like Airtable as your database, or even Google Sheets could work, because we can integrate those databases directly with DocuSign through Zapier, which means you don't need to do a CSV import. So if I go to my director sheet, all Charlie's information out there, email address, I've got the salary, I've got their home address. So if I want to send something to Charlie, if I want to generate my merge, the only thing I have to do is click here on my drop down and hit send. That's all. I don't need to upload anything inside of DocuSign. I don't need to fight with the formatting of anything. The document is now sending. You can see the status has changed to sending. And once the envelope will hit Charlie's inbox, then the status will change to sent. And so that doesn't just allow me to save time by sending the document, but also when the document will have been signed, I will know that Charlie has actually signed the document because the status will change to completed. And once the document will be signed, the document will come back automatically inside of my Airtable record somewhere here. And again, we can do the same thing with Google Sheet, and doesn't have to be Airtable. And I can also automate more. I can say that I want a copy of this document to be created inside a Google Drive folder and even rename the name of the final PDF itself. Now Charlie's status has been changed to sent. So if I go to my emails, I can see that we have the contract generated for Charlie and everything looks good. And I haven't spent any time doing any of my merges. I'm just going to sign the contract as Charlie just to show you the rest of the automation. So I've just signed the contract and you can see now that the status has been changed to completed and I have my document saved just right here. And I've also got a copy now in my Google Drive. Now, if you're not really enthusiastic about the look of this document, if you think that this doesn't look good enough and you want the documents that you will bulk generate to look like typed letters, like real mail merges, then just stay with me and watch the second video, because I'm going to show you how you can create real mail merge using the same kind of setup using automation with DocuSign. I'll see you then. Ciao.